Welcome to Mighty Married Moms. Join us at our kitchen table twice a week as the Mighty Married Moms, Debbie,
Linda,
Wendy,
invite spectacular guests to weigh in on staying sexy, vibrant, and healthy,
building marriages with soul-satisfying connections, raising happy, healthy, successful kids. Conversations with Mighty Married Moms will bring you closer to the life you really want. Episode 4.
Good morning. We're here with Mighty Married Moms, and we are very fortunate to have Dr. Kim D'Eramo here with us this morning. Dr. D'Eramo is a physician, speaker, best-selling author of the Mind Body Toolkit, founder of the American Institute of Mind Body Medicine. She attended residency at Emory University in Atlanta and is board certified in emergency medicine. After healing herself from a chronic illness using mind body tools, she now empowers patients to use the same tools to immediately shift their body chemistry and brain activity to create health and well-being. Dr. D'Eramo conducts online group training programs and speaks nationally to doctors, medical students, and the general public to teach mind-body tools. Receive your free mind-body tool at drkimd.com, and we'll talk more about how we can get more information. But we're so excited to have you here today. Thank you so much.
It's great to be here. You ladies are gorgeous, and I'm so excited for what we're creating today. It's going to be an amazing offering.
Excellent. Well, you are gorgeous as well. And we would love to hear about your Mind Body Toolkit. I mean, I've been reading about it, and we're really excited about it. This is a topic that we're very, very excited about. We believe in wholeheartedly.
I created the Mind Body Toolkit. It's really a compilation of the tools I've used for years, starting with myself. As you just mentioned, I had this chronic illness and was tired all the time. And, I saw a whole bunch of different doctors. They couldn't figure out what was going on. And I had muscle spasms and migraine headaches and joint pain and was just exhausted. And, after about a year and a half, I finally got this diagnosis, and they said, well, you've got allergies. We have the answer. And this one Harvard doctor, they did shots up and down the back, and I always flared up to everything. And now they had this big solution with all these medications and special cleaning solutions, and my head started spinning with this, this revelation of this was going to be my life. And all of a sudden I was like, you know what? No, this is not my life. This is not my solution. This is not my truth. And I'd already known the body heals, the body has the ability to heal itself. When I trained in medical school, it was an osteopathic medical school that really incorporated that understanding to the practice of medicine. But I started to take it a whole lot more seriously. And I started to use these specific mind-body tools, and I'll share some of with the viewers today, what I exactly did. But it changed my chemistry. It changed what was happening in my cells, because our communication with our thoughts, with our emotion, is constantly sending a message to our cells that either creates health or creates illness, even at the level of our genes. So I knew this, but I hadn't ever, it was like I took it 10 notches more seriously. I started applying these mind-body tools fiercely. I was not going to have that be my reality. I was not going to be one of these statistics and I'm on medications for the rest of my life. No way.
Right.
And after just 10 days, I completely reversed the whole syndrome, the fevers, the viral thing, the lab results got back to normal. Everything was functioning.
10 days.
10 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We're
Spill it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the power of the mind-body connection. And this, at that time, it became my mission to bring this into the form of medicine. Whoa, this needs to be the biggest headline. But when I told other doctors that I've been working with, it was like, oh, Kim, whatever. It was a little too woo-woo for them to grasp. But there was a tangible scientific phenomenon happening, and I had ignited it. And this merited our attention as doctors. So, I just got off on this mission that I was going to change the world of medicine. And, now it's, 15 years later. And that's exactly what I'm doing with the American Institute of Mind Body Medicine. And there are doctors all over the world who are incredibly interested in this, who are doing similar research themselves. And we're collaborating to help bring patients tools that will ignite healing immediately. So I put this together in my book, The Mind Body Toolkit, and it has 10 tools to instantly increase your energy, enhance productivity, and reverse disease. So that was my, my big first coming out and being really excited about getting this work out in the world so everyone can use it.
Yeah, well, you sound like you're still pretty excited about it.
Rock on!
Yeah. Exactly. Feeling miserable and gross and tired and have every allergy shown up, and now no. I mean,
So that reverse, so what happens is your body, when you're in a stress response, you are in an inflammatory chemistry. So there's cortisol and there's all kinds of inflammatory hormones, and they're going to make you react to allergens in the air, even like normal things that you wouldn't, they're not really harmful, like a little bit of dust or, you know, whatever, dander, all these different obscure things that I started reacting to. Well, I hadn't reacted to those before. So what was going in my body that had me be sort of in a normal state then, and now I'm so flared up? I was in medical school. I was dating somebody that wasn't really a fit, and I kept trying to kind of force that to happen. There were a lot of major stressors, but the biggest one was my relationship with my body, my relationship with myself. And this is what we can talk about today, because when you can get that relationship harmonic and have that harmony within yourself, especially as moms, as women, you can create, you literally turn off the chaos going on around you, because everybody's really responding to you. But you also pattern your body into a different pattern. You change your brain activity. You change the messages being sent to yourself. And this is exactly the process we've seen that reverses cancer, reverses diabetes, reverses heart disease, all of the major medical issues, major things that people are dying of, the diseases people are getting diagnosed with, billions of dollars in pharmaceuticals, and we can have a dramatic impact on them using our mind to connect with the body in a different way.
Mm-hmm. That is so exciting.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so it's so interesting to me that your symptoms were what most people consider, headaches, allergies, like not a big deal, not like having cancer or, you know, something like that. And so to have such a dramatic effect and be able to turn that around in 10 days is really amazing.
There are a lot of women with diagnoses like, you know, they have these syndromes of pain, or they're really tired, and then they get these labels like fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue.
Yes.
And the doctors will even say, like, we don't really know exactly what causes this. We don't really know exactly what we need to do to get you better. Well, these are the answers. And I put together the Mind Body Toolkit specifically for women who've tried everything, and they know they really want vitality, they want health, that what I've got is not good enough, that I can have more. Mm-hmm. And we can share one really fun tool right now, because it's a little bit crazy, but it's very powerful, and we do this. In our house, we do this every single morning. Okay, so your mind, you know, your body doesn't know the difference between the real and the imagined.
True, right.
So, you know, we all got a million things going on, right? Because we're women and we get involved with so many things, and we really care and we connect. So it's important for us to use our power in a very directed way. So this one tool will immediately get all your cells aligned with joy, with vitality, with passion, and it changes your brain firing so that whatever you're going to do, you're going to be genius at it today.
Okay, I'm ready for that.
Okay, so it's super simple, and you basically imagine like you just got a phone call, and it was the best phone call that you've ever imagined. Like whoever it is gave you this news that was like beyond belief. Like, I can't hardly believe this is happening to me. This is the greatest phone call, the greatest message I've ever received, okay? So you stir up in that energy, and you just let that sink in, and then you let out a big, woo!
Okay.
I love that.
That's good.
Effervescent.
Yeah.
Now, probably people who are listening, you know, you kind of try it. You're like, hey, I'll try that. Woohoo! So kind of like juice it up, you know, don't be afraid, get in your car, you know, nobody's going to think you're crazy, because hold your cell phone to your ear and they'll just think you got some really great news, okay? So make a context however you need to, that you can have that communication with your body and let your body be that fired up, that excited. You don't need a reason. You just create the reason. Mm-hmm. And your bodies create the chemistry. Your brain will change. It's firing the information that comes to you. Like, you become aware of things. You're like, I hadn't even thought about that. Oh my God, life is awesome.
Right.
It will change everything that's happening for you thereafter. So it's a great way to start your day. It's a great way if you're sluggish in the middle of the day, you want to like get a little reboot, let out your woo-woo.
Yeah.
Let out your woo-woo.
True. Like that. And I've learned that from Tony Robbins. I listen to a lot of the Tony Robbins stuff, and he talks about your physical state. And if you want to change your mind, you change your state. And it's so easy to do, and it's exactly what you were just talking about. You actually imagine something fantastic, and then you just react to whatever that might have been, and it does. It changes your physical state, and that changes how you feel. Can you give us like a really little quick layman's terms understanding of what's the brain chemistry that happens? I'm really curious about this. I'm really interested in how
So cortisol is your stress hormone, and we're focusing on all the things we don't want. Oh my gosh, this happened to my kid, or oh my gosh, I'm late and nothing's going well, or oh, why did I give them that for breakfast? I really should be feeding them better. Like all these little things, they change the patterning of what's happening in your brain, the type of information that your brain gives you at baseline, right? You're walking down the street, you're like, oh, I got all this work to do. Oh, yeah, I'm really tired. Oh, I can't stand these wrinkles. Like kind of silly things, but that's what's, it's like a record playing. When you go into a state change like I just did, where you just, fake it, okay? I just did my Instagram post. I did these little mini vlogs, and it was like, just fake it till you make it really work. Yes. Okay. Because you are, especially as women, you are so in charge of everything happening in your life, everything happening in your family, with your work or with your marriage, with your children. So when we can create the result we want before we have a reason, we realize that we're driving all of it. So it changes the activity of what's firing in your brain. Mm-hmm. Memories, like if you had some wonderful thing you did in the past and you were just genius, even if it was for 1 minute, that area of the brain will light up when you're in this inspired state, this exuberant celebratory state. Why? Because when you did that thing, maybe it was just like walking across and getting a diploma. When you did that, those were the brain areas that were firing. So you just ignited those, and those areas carry these memories of like, oh my gosh, I am a genius. Oh my gosh, I can do what I intend to do. I do follow through with things. When I put my mind to it, I can achieve something. There was this one time. So chemically, we decrease the stress hormone, which is beneficial in so many ways because it makes you gain weight, makes you burn out. You get really sluggish in your adrenals, which are stimulating to kick in your energy. They get burned out. If your cortisol is high all the time, your adrenals are like, oh, we don't have anything left here. They're getting just like squeezed all day long. So you get that decrease, your body can restore energy. You can rehabilitate. You just regenerate your, a healthy state. That's what needs to happen. You decrease inflammation. You can't be jumping up and down, celebrating, and creating cancerous cells in your body. The environment, the blood chemistry will not allow that. It just won't support that inflammatory disease. Okay. So it increases all of that inflammation for, not just the second while you're doing it, but for the time after. And if you can carry this through, I tell people, set your alarm 3 times in the day, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, to just pepper in one of these mind-body tools so that we can teach another one here where you become aware of what's going on in your body, change your breathing. You just do this quick change. It not only sustains that healthy chemistry and healthy brain firing throughout the day, but as you practice it, your body gets better at maintaining it, right? Because your body and your brain, they're going to do what you practice.
It's exercise.
It's exercise. You practice worrying about your kids all day. Those are the neurons that are going on. And after a year or two, you've got to be on some Xanax or Prozac or something like, help me out.
Oh my gosh. That's great. That's really helpful.
Yeah, I know. I think one thing that I do, I think probably a lot of women do, is that you try to maintain the calm and you try to keep it all together for your family, but you don't do it for yourself. So deep down, you're taking in all the stress from your family, so you're not really doing a positive thing necessarily.
And then you're trying to control them. All right, let me just hold it all in and you behave. And you love me better and help me with the dishes. Like you're just going to yell at everybody in your life. No one responds favorably to that.
No.
So God has one who already isn't sort of helping you out. Now you have one who really doesn't want to at all. Right? And women, we want to be treated like a queen. I mean, that's what everybody wants. My little 2-year-old, she wants to be a princess. Everything is about being a princess. So, women, we want to be treated like a queen. You want your man to just worship the ground you walk on. And why not? You deserve that. But only when you come from a state of creating love and harmony and have that overflow of abundance coming from you, do you bring people into their highest state? And I'm telling you, in your husband's highest state, he wants to just lick you up and down. Your kids they adore you. But they're not going to be behaving that way when you do, just like you said, you hold it all in and you try to control everything. Kids know, it's like they can smell it. Wow, my mom is really unhappy. No, I'm fine. Everything's good. God.
Yeah, right.
Right. So your impact is really cellular. Your communication is cellular. That and literally they can smell it. Pheromones, your chemical emissions, but also energetically. And that's why when you have any stress, anger, repression, control, tightness, stress going on inside, it will always translate to chaos in your life.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I know you talked about, I think it was in your most recent blog, you talked about what you transmit, right? So what you're holding inside, you're transmitting. And I know you hear people say, well, they just got lucky, or good things happen to them, but they don't happen to me, right? So it's all about what we're transmitting. Is that?
Yes, 100%. There really is no luck. Period. The end.
I don't believe in luck anyway, so yeah.
You make it. You manufacture it. People will say, where do you get your energy? Oh my gosh, you have so much energy. I'm like, you know what? I create it. And it's not free, so to speak. It comes to you free, but you have to set up the parameters that allow your body to keep receiving energy. And I'll tell you, sometimes it means you gotta just jam it out and be angry. And you're like, oh, I'm so upset. But you don't have to. What we tend to do is like, why did you do that? You're so bad. You shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. Well, if that's the only way you express anger, you're just throwing it out on everyone else. It's going to come back to you because they're not going to be happy.
Oh, I like that. When you express anger like that, you're throwing it out and it's going to just bounce right back to you. Totally. And I like that image. That's really helpful.
Guaranteed.
Well, you just throw a ball over the net and the ball's going to come back, and you volley it as opposed to taking it in and going, I am so unhappy and I want to change this circumstance.
Yes. Yeah. And scream it, I'm not okay. One of the things women try to hide from men is like, I'm going to hide these emotions. I don't want him to see me fall apart. But it's crazy because one of the most attractive things to a man is a woman who just can fall apart in his arms and he can hold her, but really organically, authentically express what's coming up for you. I feel blah, blah, blah. It might be, I feel like a total loser. I feel like such a failure. Or it's emotions. I feel so sad or regretful. That's okay. You're not blaming anybody. You're not throwing it at them. You're just pouring it out of yourself and letting it go. Completely different, and you'll get a completely different result.
Yeah, totally. So Kim, I know that you've done work with people in hospitals, and one of the things I'm interested in is knowing how do you see kids respond when you work with the adults in their lives?
Amazing. One of the things I noticed early on, I had a high-level mastermind where people worked with us very, very closely in coaching, and all of them kept reporting back, oh my gosh, my kid's not having night terrors anymore. My kid's not having behavioral issues. My kid doesn't have anxiety anymore. And they knew because they learned the work. They'd learned about what's happening in their body and how it affects other people. They knew it was because of the work they were doing. And so then this one woman, earlier on, she kind of ebbed and flowed of being in her own anxiety state. And she said, you know what? Whenever I let that happen and I hold it all in, my kids, he wakes up in the middle of the night screaming and wets the bed and all of these things that had been such a problem. They'd taken him to the doctor to fix him. And she said, I know when I practice the tools, I can feel the harmony in my body and it changes everything for him. So a lot of times they on medications and they're great. If your kid is in an extreme and he's just completely dysfunctional, get it on board, fine, but look for how you can reverse the underlying stimulus that's causing that disturbance.
Right.
It was incredibly powerful to see adults applying the mind-body tools and what it would do for their kids.
Yeah, it dovetails very nicely with a form of psychology called family systems, right? Where they identify the black sheep of the family, like the kid with the drug addiction problem who's 14, fix that kid and then all of us will be happy, as opposed to this core family stuff, this stew that this person has been raised in. And it's rippling out, rippling back in, rippling out. Everybody's in it together, and there's this identification of the bad guy that's really so destructive to families, so destructive.
That's a great model for understanding what's happening, because when we put our stuff over here in the corner, well, that energy is going to collect, and it's stagnant. It's going to squeeze somebody out. One of the members of the family is going to scream first and is going to scream loudest, and it's usually the one who's most connected in their body who's like, this is not okay. The kids, they don't have great languaging to express their emotions, not because they're not intuitively connected with them. They are.
Yeah.
How we have trained them out of, we don't give them those languages. We don't give them that verbiage at all in how they're raised and trained. We start to do that with our daughter now. The kids are very connected with their emotions. So if they feel something's off, first of all, they think it's them. They are going to react, period, the end. They're just not going to be poised and hold it together and kind of like, well, when I grow up and have some space to express this, I'll let it out then. No, it's like, I'm not okay. But what that looks like isn't them saying, I'm not okay, right? They're not taught to express that. It looks like them, throwing something across the room or doing some terrible thing to a sibling or, crazy things that you're like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with my kid. This is not okay. This is not acceptable. We need medication. I see it all the time in the emergency room that kids, they don't know what to do with their emotion, and they're in such a compressed emotional tension that's held in the house when the adults don't own their own energy and own their own emotion, that the kids have no other choice. It's got to get expressed because they can't just stew in it and let that happen.
Well, when you're in the emergency room with those kids that are out of control, how can you make an impact on a 4-year-old, a 10-year-old to help them focus on healing? And
or I'll add in like a 15-year-old. I'd like to know about 10.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good. I do have tools for kids, and I've gotten kids off anti-anxiety medications, gotten them out of therapy, even when they've been in therapy for years. And I did just do a piece with the Tapping World Summit with Nick Ortner, and it's on coming up in a few weeks. It was outstanding. And I did a bonus with that, and I have some videos to help kids specifically that having them use tapping to settle their system down. But I will tell you, the best thing that I can do for that kid is to communicate with the parent, is to help wake that parent up, is to help the parent begin to own their energy and stop putting it over there. It isn't that the parent doesn't love the kid, doesn't really genuinely want to do everything. I mean, of course we do, but they haven't ever been given the tools or the insight to understand all the tension you carry in your body is immediately transmitted to your kid. Your kid can't not react this way. Let's see what has to happen for you to take care of yourself so that you learn to move your emotional energy and that this doesn't happen. That's really the best thing that I'm ever going to do for that kid, is to get the parent awake.
Even a 15-year-old, you wouldn't want to have a dialogue with a 15-year-old?
Yeah, the older the kid gets, it's more, they've already embraced more of that energy themselves. So older kids for sure, and most of the kids I've worked with are in that like 11 to 12-year-old range where they need that resource. And I've used the mind-body tools with them. They love it. And usually it's one session with a kid that age, a young teen. Maybe if they're a little older, like 18, maybe it's a couple, but they're so intuitively connected with what's right in their body, with how their body works, with what's really going on in here. They've never been given the languaging. So if I can teach them about that and give them the languaging, it's like, yeah, I got this. And they can use the tools on themselves to continue to keep themselves in harmony.
That's fascinating.
Really fascinating.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
What we make teenagers wrong. Teenagers come, and the reason they rebel is because what we've given them is kind of crap, right? Like, okay, you're going to do this thing and go to school and behave this way, and then you're going to go out in the world and everything will be okay. But this is what I want you to do because this is how it's supposed to be. And kids very, very intuitively, they're connected with, what is my genius? What am I meant to be in the world? It's ridiculous to tell a kid today, go to school, get a college degree, and you'll get a good job. Like, that was obsolete 10 years, 20 years ago when I graduated college.
Right.
It certainly is. What are the greatest successes today? Like, I'm hiring these young people, and the best things that they have going for them is they have passion, they have ambition, they have drive, and they really care about what they're doing. They don't necessarily fit into this box of, well, I hope you have all of these particular skills and you've got this college degree. No, I want someone who is engaged and really cares and is a go-getter. Like, they're much more about the attributes than about the skills. And in educational system, they're just learning all these skills to fit into a box. But how could you ever know that, like 10 years ago, right? Okay, you go to college, go and do your education. Well, right now, today, what are the jobs that people are doing? Oh, I manage online marketing funnels for entrepreneurs. What?
Right.
What is that? 10 years ago, that didn't even exist as a hypothetical thought in anybody's mind. Right. Oh, I'm a social media expert for businesses who want to do blah, blah, blah. What's a social media expert? Like the jobs that exist today, they weren't even a concept 10 years ago. So how could the educational system prepare you for those jobs? The best thing you can have a kid do is you follow your passion, you follow your ambition, you focus on your strengths. What are you good at? You love art? Go just do art all day. There's a role.
Right.
And it's not, maybe you can't see that role yet, but I promise you it's there, because 10 years from now is going to be another unrecognizable world you can't even imagine. So you have to allow your kid to be who they are, to be what they are, and express themselves authentically, or they're going to rebel. And they should. It's a natural response. They're not old enough to find that third option, right? We conform, we rebel. What's the third option? We haven't taught them about
be yourself.
Organically express who I am.
Right.
Show the world that I'm going to stay on that moment. That is who I'm going to be, period, the end. You can try to tell me it's wrong and I should conform. You could try to tell me I'm bad and I'm rebelling. I'm going to stay right here, and I'm going to show you who I am.
Right. And, and if you were to ask parents, what do you want for your kids? You wouldn't have any parents say, I want my kid to know how to conform.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
And yet that's what we expect. That's the way we're set up.
It's scary. It's scary to think, what if my kid doesn't fit in? What that weird thing that he's all about, what if there's no space for him? And we get scared because we want our children to be successful. So yeah, as a mom, like that's all you want. You want your kid to be healthy, to have joy, and to have a life that, they can take care of themselves and be loved in the world. That's it.
Right.
Can I just, because we're getting close to the end, can I just ask one question about, I know I'm a health coach, and I talk a lot about weight and cortisol rising and how that holds on to weight. Can you just talk a little bit about your tools, and do they help with weight loss? Right?
Yes, we walk around with cortisol levels that are high all day long. So what happens, and I had a program we did last year called Eat More, Lose Weight. Idea is, I can't eat this and I can't eat that. And so if we want to lose weight, there's this battle against the body. Well, when we battle, it's stress, right? So we increase all the cortisol and all of the stress hormones that create the result we don't want. You have to get out of battle with your body. So one of the best tools, can I love and accept myself exactly as I am right now, big fives, whatever you want to call it, and release the judgment. Right? Because once we release the judgment, it's just, okay, I weigh X amount of pounds, I'm an X size figure, and that's where I am. And can I love and accept myself? Well, what happens for a lot of women, it's like, hell no, I can't love and accept this. It's just totally unacceptable. I don't want to be this weight. I want to be this weight. What has to happen is you come into this communion with your body where you understand, like, my body's on my side. Like, my body wants what I want. Slim, fit, healthy, having fun, moving around. And if I believe that, and that's kind of the first step, is like to really get, wow, wait a minute. My body's my ally. My body's on my side. My body's just been responding to what I've been putting in with my thoughts, with my emotions, with my activity of holding my emotions. My body's just responding to me. What if I could believe that my body will respond beautifully to my beautiful thoughts? And the more I love and accept myself, and the more ease and peace I find with eating and nurturing myself with food, with loving myself with food instead of, trying to punish myself, and loving and accepting my body, that my body actually is going to come automatically into ideal alignment, that it knows what the ideal healthiest weight for my body to be. It already knows that, just like it knows how to heal a cut. If I cut my hand, it knows how to do that. Well, it also knows how to express vitality and youthfulness and all of that health that you want, which equals being at your ideal weight. So the biggest step is to come into that awareness, and it's like a little bit of faith, right? Because it's like, if I really just love and let go and find ease, is my body going to behave? Right. So we have to have that harmonic relationship with our body first, and only we can create that.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, this is really, we could talk to you all day long.
Yep, definitely.
Every day, all day long. And we would love to have you back sometime because there's more to talk to you about. And amazing listening to you. And I've learned a lot, and I can't wait to apply and get the Mind Body Toolkit for sure. So.
Great. Thanks for having me. They can go to drkimd.com to get free tools because I send out great videos and little clips that'll teach them a quick mind body tool. For me, it's all about while you're doing the dishes or walking down the street, exercising, while you're doing what you're already doing, change your brain, change your chemistry.
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are there any new projects coming up that we should know about?
Yes. I have an amazing online program called Mind Your Body, and I'm rolling that out soon. I'm going to be launching that where I can work with people more closely because I've done a lot of high-end coaching, and people paid like tens of thousands of dollars to come in. They transformed, unbelievable things in all levels of their life, but a lot more people wanted to work with me, so I've created a program where I can work with groups of people, and we do live group coaching to apply the work every month. And the program that goes with it is a really intense, power-packed, tools and education and a whole new retraining of all the things we learned about how to connect with our body. Just throw those, the way we're fighting and trying to overpower ourselves and overpower our life. And like you were saying earlier before we got on about that masculine energy, women trying to get in and make it happen. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good for you. It doesn't feel good for anybody in your life. How can we embrace our inner power to create everything we really want?
Sounds fantastic. Let us know when it's ready.
Yeah.
I absolutely will.
Okay, all right, great.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, many blessings.
Thanks,
All right,
Kim.
bye.
Talk to you
Take care.
soon.
Bye.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/3moms. Over 85,000 titles to choose from for your iPod or your MP3 player.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Mighty Married Moms. Tune in twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays to meet fascinating and inspiring guests who will help you create the life you've always wanted.
You can find these episodes and special gifts just for you at mightymarriedmoms.com, as well as a link to our Facebook community,
Where we continue the conversation around the kitchen table. Please also help share the love by leaving a review on iTunes. We'll see you next time.